All right, can people hear me now? Trying to do this live. All right. Okay, looks like it might be happening. Sorry, trying to get this started. Gonna be doing a little discussion with a friend of mine on here, and just trying to make sure it's all working. Then I'm gonna bring him on. Do 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 do. You can hear me, Spongy? Okay. I guess I'll try to bring him in. Talking about those Girl Meets World controversies. How do I bring him in? Thanks for showing up, Spongy. It's going to be a good discussion. You know, I had this information. Okay, back here again. And all right, let's see if I can try to bring him in. Gonna give that a shot. And we'll be talking about that. Girl Meets World controversies on Twitter. That's where all the good controversies happen. Yep. Gonna be talking about those controversies on Twitter. Yeah. I didn't think I'd necessarily be talking about Girl Meets World again, because I've talked about it a fair amount. But, you know, things happen. Do 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 do. Do do do. Yeah. Send him a link. I don't know if that's the way to do it, but we're giving it a shot. StreamYard. That's the site I'm using right now. The same link. Oh wait, I think I see him.
Me there.
Hey, what's up? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm hanging in there. Just
All
having a
right.
little rusty.
All right, we got it. All right, both here on the stream. All right, so I guess we'll get started with all that. How's everybody doing today? And We had one people watching, a friend of mine named Spongy.
I
But
understand.
people
Hello
can
to
watch.
Spongy, by the way.
What? What'd you
I
say?
mean, hello to Spongy, the guy who's watching.
Yeah, yeah. Hmm. All right, so guess we'll get started talking about stuff we're going to talk about today. Yeah, should be
Bring it
streaming.
on.
Everyone. So hopefully here you know me. Yeah, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure, not a problem. Hi, everybody. I'm Tyrelle Audain. I'm 19 years old.
Yeah.
I'm from Trinidad and Tobago, the Twin Island country, which is 7 miles off of Venezuela,
What continent is that?
the Caribbean.
Caribbean. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you're far away from me.
I understand.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so hopefully it's still stream. Hopefully they're streaming on YouTube now. Hey, if anyone's there, tell me if we're streaming live on YouTube and you can hear me and all that. Yeah, I think we should be. Yeah, we are. We must be. All right, so going to talk about some Girl Meets World. So there was some controversy a couple days ago on Twitter about Girl Meets World. Some people started going on and criticizing the show and stuff, basically. And then these became a trending topic on Twitter. Just more and more people start kind of coming out with their issues with it, and we're here to give some defense of the show, basically, and about some of these critiques and controversies. Actually, I should pull up some of the stuff about it just so I know what we're going to be talking about. I don't know. Anything you want to say, Tyrell? About the Girl Meets World to get started.
Sure, but before I do that, let me just fix myself for 1 sec. You go right ahead.
What was that?
Go ahead, go ahead.
No, what did you say? I didn't hear you. Sorry.
Before I had said go right ahead, I was gonna just take off my hoodie, in which I don't want to do on the live. I'm just gonna take the camera off for a sec.
Oh, okay. You can take it off for a sec. You want me to take it off?
Okay,
Okay, yeah, go
I
ahead.
got it.
Okay, go ahead. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. All right, I'm pulling up some stuff about the show.
And we are back.
All right, got that taken care of. All right. So, anything you want to say about Girl Meets World before we get to looking over some of the controversies, some of the criticisms?
Literally, I love the show 110% so much, despite all the controversy surrounding it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, actually, let me ask you this question. I was curious about it. Have you watched the original series Boy Meets World?
Yes, I did, by the way. Just
Yeah,
before
yeah,
Girl Meets World had premiered, when Disney was showing reruns of it. Not the
yeah,
adult subject ones that I haven't seen, the ones that they did play a
yeah,
month
yeah,
before it had premiered.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I watched Boy Meets World a lot as a teenager on ABC Family. They used to show reruns of it, and I was a fan of the show. Still am. I just watched an episode earlier tonight, actually, of Boy Meets World. Very good show. Yeah, great show. And so I was curious when the new show came out, and I was a little unsure about it at first, but I grew to like it more and more over time. Yeah, it's a show that I like quite a bit. Some episodes I don't like as much. I don't know, I like it quite as much as you do, but that's okay. Where is the? I'm looking at some article here about. All right. I think this article had some links to some of the tweets people wrote. I don't see them there. How about this? Why don't we maybe just start? We could just start talking about some of the issues people had. Like maybe we could start off with the whole autism episode that people have issues with. The episode's called. Actually, I've seen two different titles for the episode. One was Girl Meets Farkle, and one was Girl Meets I Am Farkle. But you know the episode I'm talking about.
I
You think
know.
you? Yeah, yeah. So I know that people had issue with the episode. I remember watching the episode when it first came out, and I liked. Sorry, there's some alarm going off.
That's okay.
It's not even an alarm I need. Yeah, but I remember people having some issue. I liked the episode quite a bit when the episode first came out, and basically, um, I know that people. Yeah, I just wanted to check something. Okay, so yeah, the episode is basically about people start some people are looking at character Fargo, Riley's friend, and they start to suspect that maybe he may have autism, a particular kind called Asperger's syndrome, and essentially, and who does still watch Girl Meets World? Some people, some people. Just looking at the chat now. Anyway, so basically, they believe that when Farkle goes to tell his friends that he may have autism, there's a very kind of negative reaction, in particular from Riley and Maya, and basically they act. Now, when I watched the episode the first time, um, I remember thinking about the reaction that they had, and the reaction of they had is what could be described as a ableism, kind of a prejudice towards people who have various disabilities and stuff like that, and basically where they are very like in denial of the idea that he has autism, and they don't want to accept it. And if they found out that he did, they would be, very upset about it, even though it's it's something people can struggle with, of course, but it's not doesn't have to be a terrible thing if you don't let it be. So and I viewed it as like this behavior is supposed to be being portrayed as in the wrong. But a lot of people, some of these people on Twitter, I don't know if they're maybe just don't get it, or maybe seeing it out of context, or maybe are intentionally misrepresenting it. But I think that I think it's meant to portray this behavior they have as being in the wrong. Now, the episode basically ends with them finding out that Farkle does not get diagnosed with autism, but instead they find out that another character, Farkle's girlfriend Smackle, actually has autism, and despite this, they're still able to accept her for who she is. And it's a story. It comes up later in other episodes. It becomes a major part of a story of one of my favorite episodes, the season 3 Christmas episode, "Girl Meets a Christmas Maya," which I have a review on my channel from a year or two ago. So
Okay.
yeah, so I don't have a problem with I think the way they handled it. So what would you like to say about that episode and the whole
Just
controversy around?
before Christmas Day last year, when they aired it late in the night, I did stay up and watch that episode, by the
Yeah.
way.
Yes. You
And I
watched it.
must say, at the start of the episode, Maya was feeling lonely. But we're talking about Sma- Smackle and Sparkle here and the autism. And
Yeah.
in my point of view, I thought they was gonna romantically fall in love because since both of them had the same type of autism, which was what they call it again, some other A word.
What was that you just said there? Can you say that again? The last part.
The one you mentioned earlier, the other A word besides autism.
Yeah. What else did What else did you want to say?
And then and then both of them had a lot of charisma in that episode, like communication.
Yeah, charisma, a lot of communication. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember the character Lucas wasn't in that episode, by the way. The other guys and them, they were in
Oh,
that
yeah. He
cafe
wasn't.
scene.
Yeah, he wasn't. He wasn't in that Christmas episode that I mentioned either. I don't think that's not the one you're talking about. Is it?
And basically, not
Yes.
only I really like that couple, Sparkle and Sparkle. They really was my second favorite couple on the show, but I like them the most.
Yeah, yeah, they're a good couple. Yeah. You think do you think the portrayal of autism and was handled well?
Exactly.
Yeah, you do think it was handled well, right? Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. So yeah, I don't really have an issue with anyone. Anything else you'd like to say about the Girl Meets World and the autism episode? About that autism episode?
In my personal point of view, Riley, Maya, and Lucas, they shouldn't have made fun of both of them au- autistic diagnosis,
Yeah, sure.
which almost got me upset in that episode. I'm not gonna say the word pissed off. It got me a little upset, but not
Yeah,
heartbroken.
yeah, yeah,
And when one of the teachers in that episode had given him his I his IQ results,
yes,
and it showed in that school scene he had passed the IQ exam,
yeah,
and then when he and Smackle got together in the cafe, he revealed it to her he had that he have autism, and even Smackle also told them that as well.
right. Yeah,
Also in that same episode as well, they had a little they had a little party at Topanga's, or as what I call it, a line,
they had what?
a little get together, like a line or a party type of thing
Uh,
at
okay,
Topanga's.
yeah, yeah, they had to get together.
Even Smackle showed up, and I find when she had showed up, I was kind of a bit berserk, not bizarre, but berserk when Riley went up and awkwardly hugged her. But I didn't see it as unfriendly nor awkward, but she and her are friends, by the way, thanks to Farkle.
Yeah,
You remember the season one episode when Farkle had introduced the girls and Lucas to Smackle?
yeah, yes, I remember that.
From that point, they wasn't enemies anymore. They became frenemies, even though they were debating against each against each other.
Right, yeah, yeah.
So
And
what's the next question?
the next question. I guess what so do you think her character Smackle was a positive portrayal of autism, positive and accurate?
Personal point of view, yes. I'm
Okay.
gonna give
Yeah.
her the thumbs up. She
Yeah.
portrayed her quite well.
Yeah. Based on my understanding of it, I'm not an expert on it. I don't but yeah, based on my understanding, I'd say it's positive portrayal. All right, so I guess we can
Yes,
move
it was
on from that.
positive.
What was that? Sorry.
It was positive.
Yeah, positive. Yeah. Okay, I guess we can move on from that episode. We could talk about some other stuff. Let's see. Well, there's the you mentioned when we talked the other night the communism episode called that was I believe
Yes, yes, we talked about it last night. I remember that.
yeah, that was I think a season 2 episode called Girl Meets Communism, which I know is like I said to you that it's an episode that I've seen people criticize previously. I remember I saw a clip of it going around on Twitter a couple months back, and I guess we don't have to get too
It started to circulate around me last year during the lockdown, during the back end of the lockdown. I remember seeing that circulating, and I've
sorry.
watched that clip numerous times.
Yeah, yeah, you saw that clip. Yeah, yeah, I saw people talking about it. Yeah, so Yeah, that was interesting. I will say, actually, I remember back when that episode came out. I remember talking to another person about it, somebody who I knew who watched the show online, and they had asked me like, "Have you seen this episode yet?" And I said, "No, I haven't." And the person said to me, "Well, I think it's one of the weaker episodes they've done recently." So I watched the episode of when I got around to watching it a little after it came out, and yeah, I watched the episode again recently, somewhat recently, and it's not one of my favorite episodes. So I might possibly agree with some of the criticisms people have of that one, that maybe it's not an accurate portrayal of the subject. Um, I think like maybe like with that like my personal opinion on the episode, I feel like maybe like it's not. I almost felt like the creators and the writers like didn't really have a lot of passion like for the subject like when they made the episode, and didn't put a lot of thought into it. Like maybe it's just something they kind of like almost like, in a sense, like kind of threw together because they wanted to. Well, okay, basically, I think Girl Meets World is somewhat that a show that has an ideology that's somewhat more left wing liberal. So I feel like maybe the episode, the Girl Meets Communism, was basically an attempt to sort of criticize something that was more associated with their own side of the political spectrum, and maybe not done very well, in my opinion. So that's what I would. So I might agree with some of the criticisms about that episode. What do you think about the episode "Girl Meets Communism"?
In my personal view, with that Girl Meets Communism episode,
Yes.
I'm gonna have to say that that episode was a bit too much political. I'm
Yeah.
not really a politics person, but I've been following politics not only here in my home country, but in the States and all over the world.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
right now, can I go ahead?
Well, sorry. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. Because right now, there's dictatorship not only in Russia, but in India right now, with dictatorship and politics. And even though there's a lot of misinformation out there, I don't want to bring the pandemic into this, but that
Yeah.
episode was too much political. And
Yeah.
I'm
The
not
episode.
too and I'm gonna have to stick with your point as well too. It was too political,
Yeah. Yeah. Too political an episode. Yeah. I would.
and that brings up one point that I should have brought up last year. Following that whole political episode with the communism, a lot of that happened not only leading up to the U.S. election last year, but here in Trinidad as well, with all the race and religion drama that went down during the election. It also happened in Guyana as well, which is south of Trinidad, a few miles off of Venezuela. You know where Guyana is? That's South America, where the Amazon is, close to
South
Brazil.
America, Amazon. Okay.
And I'm not really a politics person, but that episode was very, very political.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was controversial as well.
Yeah. It was controversial. I
And
guess I would
also,
actually say.
I thought,
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
I'll let you talk. I was going to give another point, but I'll let you do the talking.
All right, thanks. Okay, I'll let you talk after that. I guess I was gonna say that I'm not a huge fan of some of the more political episodes that they did. A lot of them were like in season two of the series. Um, I think episodes where they try to kind of get into certain like complex like political and social issues. Like there's um the feminism episode that a lot of people don't like, and it's not one of my favorites, and we don't have to get into that one here. The episode is called "Girl Meets STEM," but I felt like a lot of times when they tried to tackle some of those uh, more serious, complex political and social issues, it wasn't always handled well enough. Like they didn't really put enough. I don't know. Like either it was maybe something that was like a little too ambitious, for them, or they just didn't put enough thought or work into it. So yeah, and I'd say the communism episode, the same criticism applies to that one. Okay, so what else were you gonna say about it?
What else I was going to say
Well, what else
regarding
were
the
you gonna about it?
communism
You can go now.
episode, I thought that episode was ripped from the headlines.
Do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hmm. Do you hear me, Tyrell?
Right, I heard.
You
Yes,
frozen
I
or
can hear
something?
you. Yes, I can hear you, John. What I was now saying regarding Gurmeet's communism, I thought it was ripped from the headlines.
Okay.
That's what I was saying. Thank you. Oh. Can you hear
Ripped
me?
from the headlines.
Okay.
It's like, okay, yeah, I know
Uh,
what you mean about that. Yeah, I can see what you mean. Okay, yeah. I think
so what's the next question?
yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay, you're welcome. Yeah, so yeah. Yeah. Okay. So that one's the best episode. So that one I could agree with some of the criticism. Actually I should see if I want to pull up some of the other issues I heard people talking about. I mean, I know there was a number of criticism people had of this show of just kind of the show being too like. Sorry, what were we gonna say?
I wasn't going to say anything. You go
I know there were
ahead.
some criticism people had of the show, just kind of like calling it too like corny or cheesy or melodramatic, which is kind of subjective, I guess. Yeah, I could see maybe how you might say that, but I don't really have a problem in that sense. Some people, I don't know. I saw like a number of people comparing the show to Boy Meets World, saying it wasn't as good. And in my opinion, it's not. I do like girl. I do like Boy Meets World more, but I still like Girl Meets World a lot. So I think it was a worthy successor, worthy sequel series. So I don't really have a problem with it. I don't know. I'm just trying to pull up here some of the stuff about the other criticisms here. Were there any other episodes you wanted to talk about, or any of the other controversies that you wanted to bring up regarding the show?
We were talking. We were talking about Gurmeet. Hmm. And Ted mentioned he didn't want to
I'm
bring
just
up
trying to pull up
Gurmeet
some
as
stuff here, but if there's anything else
CDM.
you want to start a conversation about while I'm working on that, feel free. I don't know if you can see me right
But I'll wait.
now
I'll wait. Yes,
because
I can see you.
I'm in a different window, a different tab. Yeah, the internet's being slow. The internet with these things I'm trying to download is being slow right now. Maybe I'll see if I can pull it up on my phone instead. All right, yeah, let me see what I can pull up here. Okay, I got some stuff on the phone. Oh yeah, there was also the religion episode. I believe the episode was called "Girl Meets Belief," which some people I feel like maybe my issue with some of the criticism of that one is similar to the issue with people's criticisms of the autism episode, where basically I feel like people may have like taken certain scenes and clips out of context that were showing that made it seem like the characters on the show were the character Farkle was saying like he's not sure if he's religious, he's not sure if he believes in God, and I guess I won't get into my own thoughts on the subject, but basically, they felt that they were kind of almost like people view that episode as like the people were kind of almost like bullying Farkle for having a different point of view. And I suppose there could be certain things about it that you could say weren't handled perfectly. But overall, I kind of felt that the episode in the end had a message of just like, accepting, everybody for who they are, regardless of, if they follow this religion or that religion or they don't follow any religion at all. What did you say?
Oh, I didn't say anything. I was listening to you.
I feel like you might having a little bit of a connection issue. What were you going to say about it? Yeah, you can say.
No, I
All
was
right.
listening to
What were
you.
you?
Go right
What
ahead.
did you want to say about the episode?
Oh,
Did you want to say
regarding
anything about it?
Gurmeet's belief,
Okay, take your time.
regarding Gurmeet's belief,
Mhm.
they were talking about during the episode itself. Right, Leon Meyer had split up
Was
and had
about the religion episode and people's reaction to it.
yes, yes, the religion episode. During that episode,
Tyrelle,
yes, Sean.
anything you wanted to add to the conversation?
Sure, sure. With regards
You
to
know,
Gurmeet's belief, I'll give that episode a
can you hear
five
me
out
now?
of 10. Yes, I can hear you.
Might be like a delay here or something. I'm not sure.
Right, can I hear you?
Are you there, Tyrell? Can you hear me right now?
Yes, I can.
Might be some kind of delay between us seeing no reaction from you now. One sec. Okay. Are you there?
Yes, I'm right
Can
here.
you hear and see me now? Okay, I was having some issue with the internet connection. I think it might be good now. So I didn't hear you. So I was asking, is there any what was your thoughts on the episode, the Girl Meets World episode, Girl Meets Belief?
What I was
What's your opinion
saying,
on that episode?
a 5 out of 10 for that one. Literally, that episode I thought was a bit controversial at times. The part when
Yeah,
the girls were talking about if they had prayed every night before they go to bed or somewhere there. That's the part that people, in my view, took it a bit to the wrong side. What happened?
not sure what this looks like on YouTube now. Hopefully, not too bad. John Moore. Okay, so all right, you see me now?
Yes, I can see you.
Having a bit of an issue with the Okay, having a bit of an issue with the internet connection here. Okay, so yeah, you said you didn't like the episode. You didn't like that episode too much. Is
I'm
that
not
correct?
gonna I'm not gonna give that one a negative. I liked it a bit, but not much.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. It was a passable enough episode, but not one of my favorites.
I
But yeah,
understand that one.
yeah, yeah. I um I watched that somewhat recently. I'm trying to remember a lot of specifics about it. I was looking at some of the clips that were resurfacing again. But I don't think the episode necessarily had too bad a message about religion. At the end of the day, I think there was a certain attempt to kind of just like, people can believe whatever they want. They can have this religion, they can have that religion, they can follow no religion, as long as they're not hurting anybody, then it's fine. But let's talk about a different one. Um, when you and I had spoken the last night, I know we had spoken about, I had brought up, this one wasn't really a one specific episode. This was kind of a general, almost kind of more of a storyline that people had an issue with. This is the was with the relationship between Maya and Riley's Uncle Josh. Now,
Oh
basically,
yes, I think we brought that up. Yes, I remember
yeah,
that point.
yeah. Now, there's never actually like a romantic relationship between them in the show. Basically, what happens is Maya, who's like, well, she's like, I don't know, she's like something like 14 or something when this show. No, she's like 12 when the show starts. I started off in middle school, 12 or 13. And then you have Uncle Josh, who's like 3 years older than her. And she has a crush on him, basically. And, he doesn't reciprocate it because, it's inappropriate with their, age differences and stuff. But and at one point in the show, he's like starting or about to be starting college, so he comes like 18, making her something like maybe like 15. And what people were taking issue with was the idea that basically at one point he says, okay, we can't be in a relationship now because it would be inappropriate, maybe illegal, but maybe someday when, we're both older, it won't matter. Which is, I guess technically in of itself fine, but maybe I guess I'm a little on the fence about it. I guess I could see how some people might say that's kind of an inappropriate thing to say, like, hey, someday, when it's no longer appropriate, we can be in a relationship. I can see how that's a little bit weird, a little bit, inappropriate, possibly. So I don't know. I'm a little on the fence of it about it. So, what do you think about that whole people having issue with that whole relationship between the two of them.
Well, if the character Maya was underage and Josh is over 18, both of them shouldn't be dating, in my
Yeah,
personal point of view, which is a fact. FACT. And
yeah, sure.
when she realized that Josh was with another girl in that episode, her face started to frown.
Yeah, yeah, I remember
She
that.
felt unhappy.
Yeah,
But then once Josh's girl had left, I think I remember in that point she sat down with him and had a personal chat.
right. There was personal chat. That was one of the clips people were bringing up.
And
Yeah,
then at the back end of the episode, the two other characters, Riley and Lucas, them had a big kiss on that subway, and plenty people, I think, on social media criticized it the most.
what did you say? There was a kiss? Did you say there was a kiss between Maya and Josh?
No, no, I meant Riley and Lucas at the back end of that scene in that episode. Maya and
Oh,
Josh,
okay.
they did not kiss.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if they did Maya and Josh anything that's technically inappropriate, or Josh anything. Yeah. So I don't know if I would necessarily say I have an issue. I could see maybe it's um maybe a little inappropriate for him to say that maybe they'll be
Yeah,
together
it was yeah, it
someday
was
or
very inappropriate.
yeah. Maybe he was just trying to be nice to her or something.
Like in a
You know.
positive vibe.
Yeah. So yeah, a little unsure about that one. Kind of on the fence about it.
And
That was like
speaking of kissing, John,
yes.
about 3 years ago when I was in school, one I think it was during the lunchtime period when when my teacher had went to the bathroom, I witnessed two people. I don't want to call their names on the live, but
Oh,
I witnessed two two individuals from my class, both of them under the age of 18, by the way. One was, I think, 14, and the other one was 16, and both of them had a makeout kissing scene. It did happen the day before when I didn't come to school. One of my BFFs had told me that evening, the day
yeah.
that I did not come to school, I had a dental appointment. That the first day, the other kissing incident, it happened Friday during lunchtime. Everyone witnessed it,
Yeah.
and then the Monday when Miss was talking about the whole drama, them
Yeah, the team.
them say how I lied about it. But
Yeah.
two other people, one of them who's black just like I, and one who's Hispanic, the
Yes.
three of us we witnessed it along with the rest of them who apparently lied and said they didn't see it. All of them had witnessed it.
Really.
Yes.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, they didn't believe you with that one. Yeah, that's a story. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's a good thing I brought it up. It's a good thing I brought it up.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Yeah, they accuse you of being a liar. That's no good.
It's unfortunate and was a bit unfair.
Did you get in like trouble for it, or just kind
Yeah, I
of?
end up getting, yeah, me and two others. In fact, the two others and myself, we end up getting in trouble for that.
Oh, yeah, that's too bad.
And in my personal view, we shouldn't have apologized to the two of them in the first place, in which Miss forced us to do, which I find was a bit BS a, and ridiculous.
Yeah. Because you were telling the truth and they didn't believe you. Yeah,
Yes, yes, indeed, John.
yeah. That's hard sometimes. It's hard to tell who. It's hard to know who's telling the truth. In some situations.
Exactly.
Yeah. Hmm. All right. I want to see if there was any of the other. Um. Okay. One other thing here, people bring it up in this one article here. was the concept of the portrayal of the relationship between basically how the show Girl Meets World continued and kind of completed the relationship between Sean and Angela. You know who they are, right?
Yes, the two of them, the two characters dated on Boy Meets World
Right, and they were,
and did had a reunion
yeah, and
in the
they
episode
were.
Girl Meets Hurricane.
Oh yeah, that one, right? Yeah, they were in a relationship, of course, on Boy Meets World in the last like three or four seasons. At the end of the series, I think it was like in the second or third to last episode. I remember Angela had gone off to had basically left Sean. She had gone off to like be with her father, who was like in the army. Basically, she had gone off to spend time with him, traveling and stuff like that. So the relationship ended, and they bring Angela back at one point, and they show how their relationship didn't work out, and I think some people were upset about that.
Especially the diehard Boy Meets World fans.
Yeah. I think people were kind of upset about it from like a nostalgic purpose that this relationship didn't go the way they wanted to. Although some relationships just don't work out. That's real life,
Exactly.
And basically, I actually was not a huge fan of the episode where that featured the wedding between Sean and Maya's mom,
Oh,
Katie.
Lord. Oh, shucks.
Yeah. Why do you like that one?
Yeah, I actually did like it.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't
Laughing out
too
loud.
bad. It wasn't too bad an episode. It was basically, I actually have a video about that episode on my channel. I forgot the name of the title of the episode. But basically, I kind of felt like that it was it was a nice enough episode, but I kind of felt like maybe it was like an episode that like focused like too much on like Boy Meets World characters and like not enough on Girl Meets World, the show that we're watching now.
Exactly.
And like, but like, I mean, like on the one hand, like I remember back when I was watching, I was kind of thinking like that maybe Sean and Maya's mom, Katie, didn't necessarily need to get married. Although on the other hand, that was also a big part of one of my favorite episodes that I mentioned earlier, "Girl Meets a Christmas Maya" from season 3, and I wouldn't want that part to be left out of the episode. So, I don't know. I kind of felt like maybe it was just like maybe like a way to like bring Sean in the show a little unnaturally, although he wasn't in the series a ton after that episode anyway. So I guess it didn't matter. But I think people also had issue with that whole story and the way they handled Angela because I think they liked the idea of how Boy Meets World they portrayed like Sean and Angela as a interracial couple basically, and some people were a little upset about the idea that they get rid of that character and then replace
And
it with
speaking
somebody
of the
else who's
character Angela, the lady
yes.
who portrayed Angela claimed last year, during the pandemic last year, how
Yes.
one of her castmates racially abused her. I'm not sure if that was true, but I did read a story about it, and even Daniel Fisher, who played Topanga, did apologize. I'm not too sure if Ryder Strong or Ben Savage ever apologized to her after that incident.
Oh, really? Racially abused her, you said? I'll have to look
Yep,
into that. That's interesting.
I remember it did happen to some Hindu cricketer, but I don't want to bring that up. I would rather bring that up a bit later on. I know
Okay.
you don't follow sports, by the way,
Yeah. Yeah, I mentioned that.
but if I could get a whole rundown about that, you might get the gist of it.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Yeah, what else was I saying? But yeah, I feel like some people might have an issue with the idea that they go and they have this interracial relationship on, Boy Meets World, which could be a nice thing to see. Oh, hey Ryan, how you doing? My friend Ryan just showed up here in the chat. Yeah, I think you
Tell
know
him
who he
I
is.
said hi.
Yeah. I think you know who he is, Ryan Echo.
Oh, the guy who made the other video about the Boy Meets World.
Yeah, I think you know who he is, Ryan Echo.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember it did happen to some Hindu cricketer, but I don't want to bring that up. I would rather bring that up a bit later on.
the one house shows does decline after season 4. Is that the same guy?
Yeah, that's him.
Aha. I remember commenting on one of his videos recently.
Yeah, I think
Then
I
house
saw.
shows declined after season 4.
Yeah, I saw your. I think I saw your comments on that video. Yeah, yeah. So basically, yeah, I think some people kind of had an issue with the idea how they have this interracial relationship on Boy Meets World, and then a Girl Meets World, Sean ends up in a relationship with another white woman, so it's not an interracial relationship, of course. And I don't know, it's like, I mean, like I said, of course, relationships, don't always work out. They don't always last forever. And I don't know. I kind of just felt like maybe that's just the way they wanted just the story to go. So I don't know if
It also
I don't
happened to me in
really.
real life
I mean,
as
I
well.
guess I can see. Yeah, like I guess I can understand how people maybe don't like the idea of almost like erasing that interracial relationship, but it's still part of the original series. So I don't know, whatever. Not really something I have too much of an issue with. Hmm. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm not sure if trying to see if I don't know if I see someone mentioning it here, and I don't think it was like a major thing people had a problem with. But I was out of curiosity. Let me ask you, what do you think of the feminism episode about Girl Meets World? Girl Meets STEM is the name of the episode from season 2. You have any opinions on that episode?
Of course, let me give my point of view. In that episode,
Okay, sure.
Riley and her other female friends realized that the guys was doing all the science/STEM work, and they felt they were left out. So they joined forces like a female rebellion. Then afterwards,
Yeah.
later in that episode, as what the game show Whammy fans does say, he ended up in a mess when all the liquid poured onto him,
Right.
or as what the game show Whammy fans say, it's like a double whammy when you hit that dreaded double whammy. Like in the game show itself, not only it takes away the money but messes you up big time.
Right.
I just hardly watched that, but I have a few episodes of it. But I wouldn't jump to that. It happens. What had happened to Falco was just like the slime, like when he didn't get slime in real life, but in the show, he got slime or got
Right.
messed up.
Right. Yeah, that happened. I remember. Yeah,
And
I mean,
I think they cleaned them up after that incident had happened.
right. Yeah.
Similar, two other similar incidents happened on that show.
Oh
In
yeah.
season 1, where Riley and Maya had that big pain fight,
Oh yeah.
both of them mess
Yeah.
up each other, and in season 3 as well, which I find was absolutely hilarious. In fact, both of those, even the one that Falco got messed up on, was absolutely hilarious. I nearly fell down in laughter in, in those few occasions.
Yeah, yeah. The show can be very funny. I actually the feminism episode Girl Meets Stan. It's not Girl Meets STEM. It's not one of my favorite episodes, but there are a lot of jokes in that episode I like quite a bit. Yeah.
First joke, I should say. What's the first joke?
I can't think of them off the top of my head. I remember watching it and just thinking, oh, I really like a lot of these jokes. When I watched the episode again recently from my Girl Meets World Out of Context Twitter account, I'm trying to think of them off the top of my head. There's that one whole thing towards like the end of the episode, like where all the girls are kind of like going a little too far with like the female empowerment thing, and they're doing this thing where they like half seriously they want to sacrifice that short kid Yogi. That was pretty funny.
just like in the movie Madagascar 2, in which one of the in which Melman almost sacrificed his life for all the animals who was
Oh
suffering without water.
yeah, I haven't seen that movie. I like the first film though. That was fun. That movie was funny.
I
The
liked
first
all
Madagascar
three.
movie.
I liked all three.
Yeah, I've only seen the first one. I'll have to check out the others at some point. But yeah, that episode, Girl Meets STEM, it was okay. I just didn't. I kind of basically my issue with the episode is I kind of felt like it basically. I was kind of saying earlier how it takes an issue that's kind of like not just feminism, but that specific feminism issue is like very complex issue. And I don't necessarily disagree with what the episode had to say, but it's more just that the idea that I think that like maybe they didn't. It's kind of a very complex issue, and they didn't explain it properly enough. And I think that's why a lot of people. It's definitely an episode. I think a lot of fans of the show consider it one of the weakest of the series. Yeah, for that reason, that maybe it doesn't totally communicate its ideas properly. Do you like that episode or not? In general,
Yes, I did like
Girl
it
Meets.
because of not only the jokes, but the female empowerment in which I liked. Even it's
Yeah,
happening in the real world as well.
yeah, sure. Yeah, there's issues like that in the real world. Yeah, the
And even
episode's
in
okay.
my home country recently as well. Even here in my
Yeah,
home country recently, there was the candlelight movement. I'm not too sure if you Americans don't watch the Caribbean news on social media, but there was a candlelight movement which happened just before the current lockdown had went back in place for
mhm.
one of the females who was killed by two men, in which is still
Oh,
under investigation. But the two men that killed her apparently was killed by police. Apparently, one of them, the suspects, fell off a chair and died. I don't know how that happened. I remember seeing it on news. And the other guy, well, apparently he refused to surrender, and police hold him down. Not it's not similar to the George Floyd one,
no.
but he suffered fractures
Yeah.
and injuries and succumbed to his injuries.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. We in America, we don't. Yeah, we definitely don't follow. I think a lot of the stuff going on in your country. I think we're mostly
I
concerned.
understand.
Yeah, we're mostly. Sometimes a lot of other countries seem to follow our news, but people in our country like they don't talk too much about other countries on the news. Sometimes countries like the UK, Britain, and stuff like that, but not so much yours and others like that.
I
But yeah,
understand.
yeah,
But there
it's
are a lot of blacks. There are a lot of blacks that follow our news. Even Hispanics follow their own news in their own language as well.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I should
But
look
since
more
the
into internet.
George Floyd incident last year, I've been following a lot of the Black Lives Matter. Even the hate crimes that happen on the Asian Americans, I've been supporting not only the Black Lives Matter movement, but
Yeah,
the Asian American Lives Matter movement as well.
yeah. Asian lives matter. I think that's what they call it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a big deal here.
And
A lot
right
of
now
that.
in Texas, with the migrant children, have me that have my heart broken right now and saddened to see what is going on there.
Yeah, yeah. Some of it's very sad. Hmm.
And there was another point that I brought up earlier in which I was going to save for the ending
Okay, yeah, you can say
regarding.
it.
I know you don't follow cricket, which is similar to baseball, but one former cricketer who was banned for life for corruption, and he was
Corruption.
a Hindu in Pakistan, and he accused his former Muslim teammates, his former teammates who are Muslims, of, believe it or not, religious discrimination. Apparently, they did not want to sit and eat with him, and one former cricketer nicknamed Rahul Pindi Express apparently
Mhm.
exposed it on on a Pakistani sports show. I know you guys don't follow sports and those stuff, but I just gave you the rundown. Then
Yeah,
he accused, then the same Hindu cricketer who was banned for life accused one of my favorite cricketers, who by the way on March 5th every year in Texas. There's a Shahid Afridi Day in Texas. Every March 5th every year it was given up. It was named after him by I think the Texas someone in Texas. I think it was the governor. I'm not sure,
Yeah. Yeah.
but he has a but the guy who, who was accused of abusing the Hindu cricketer has his own foundation, and during the pandemic he's been helping homeless families and those who were in need of food and water.
Yeah, that's nice. That's always good.
Yes, yes. And even during the Black Lives Matter movement last year, one former West Indian captain was called some racial word by some Indian cricketer. I follow all of those stuff. I know you Americans don't follow it, but I follow all of those
Yeah.
stuff. And once I saw it on
Yeah.
social media, I was shell shocked and heartbroken.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. Sad stuff.
and
Yeah.
I
I don't
remember,
follow the sports too much.
and
I
I also
was gonna say,
remember.
I don't.
All right, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't follow like the sports stuff in general, but then there's like when sometimes like when the politics gets involved in sports and stuff like that.
Yes,
That's the kind of stuff that I like
I
to
was
look
now gonna mention that
at.
too. Look how
Yeah,
long
like
politics
we
has
have.
been killing sports.
Yeah, like we have the whole we had the whole Colin Kaepernick controversy here.
In
Like
the NFL.
yeah, and that's something that just a lot of people were talking about.
And I remember NFL and Trump kicking him out of that league. Even he tried to make a comeback, but sadly it was a failure.
Yeah, it didn't work out for him.
Then even in women's soccer too, the whole US female women's team, who are the best in the world, took a stand, joined joined forces with him and took a stand against
Yeah.
Trump during his reign.
Hmm.
Even basketball players like the NBA, for an example, and WNBA, they all took a stand for social justice, and it's still going on up to this day.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
another point of view that I was going to bring up, and I've been saying this in the public domain, too many black men and black women are being wrongfully killed by the police, and that is
Yeah,
unfortunate,
it's been an issue.
and that sucks.
Yeah, it's definitely been an issue here. Yeah.
But thankfully, the officer who killed George Floyd is going to spend the rest of his life in jail. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Any other topic on Good Meat so we can head back to? Or we're
I don't
almost
know.
finished?
I don't know. I'm not sure if I have too much to talk about. I feel like maybe that's all I wanted to say about Girl Meets World. Is there anything else you want to say about Girl Meets World?
One of my favorites. Oh, by the way, I remember writing a Facebook post regarding the autism episode.
Oh yeah, that right. Yeah.
And I
Anything?
yes. Also pointed out how people have been saying how I'm awkward and not good looking. I remember a few students in my school in the secondary department, which is high school, saying how I'm not good looking.
Yeah, I'm sorry with that.
And awkward and all those hurtful stuff.
Yeah, the treatment of it can
And
be.
even one of my mother's colleagues in work and said and hard real talk. And a teacher from my old school also said she'd love it. If you want to go check out my Facebook post, I'll send you the link.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you can send me the link on Twitter.
Of course.
Send me a direct message if you want.
A DM. I will always do that. And also, I will always keep in touch with you.
Okay.
There was one other discussion I was going to bring up. I remember a Jesse episode about 8 years ago where where one of the episodes was almost axed, like scrapped because of how the characters died. Remember that one? And there
I
was
think
a big controversy.
I haven't heard of the episode. I've heard of the episode. I don't think I
The
actually I
episode
might have seen a clip of
was
it online.
titled "Quitting Cool Koala."
Yeah, I've heard of the episode. I might have seen a clip of it online. I don't think I've ever watched the episode. I wonder if it's
I've
on
watched
Disney.
it numerous times.
What'd you say?
I've watched that episode millions of times, numerous of times,
Yeah, I
and
wonder if
I
it's on
find it.
Disney Plus.
I think Jesse's on Disney Plus, and even it's the show still airs reruns every single day.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
personally, I do not like the spin-off Bunked, but in the show, Jesse had too many stupid adult jokes. I remember
yeah.
talking to another Twitter user about that just late last year during the lockdown.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Bunks either. I've done a couple of videos about that show.
Well
I'm
said,
not.
well said,
Yeah, actually,
well said, Johnny Boy.
Yeah, yeah. Jesse is not one of my favorite Disney Channel shows either.
I'll have to
Not as
agree with
good.
you on that one.
Yeah, not as good as stuff like Andy Mack or Liv and Maddie or Girl Meets World, of course.
Even Austin, even Austin and Ali was a real good show that I used to like on Disney.
Yeah, it was a pretty good show. Not bad. I have to. Maybe I'll go
I
back and
like
watch Disney Plus.
I like it along with the Girl Meets World and the Liv and Maddie, even Andy Mack.
Yeah,
A lot
Andy
of
Mack.
people have been saying that Andy Mack is similar to Girl Meets World, but 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 a bit different. And how they tackle even the other episode. I remember a year or two ago, a year, 2 or 3 years ago, where they had a sign language interpreter. That episode, I loved it.
Yeah, that was very good. Yeah. Yeah, Andy Mack is yeah. I think that's another thing I saw. Some people were comparing Andy Mack to Girl Meets World, saying it was better. I do like Andy Mack better, but like I said, of course I still like Girl Meets World a lot too. I used to say I liked Girl Meets World better, but over time I grew to like Andy Mack more.
I give both the shows a 10 out of 10,
Yeah.
along with the Liv and Maddie and Austin and Ali. I rate Jesse and Bunked way lower than that because of the jokes. And in my opinion, Bunk should have been cancelled a long time ago. I don't know why the show is still on the air with a fifth season. It should have been cancelled after Xander and Jorge and
Right.
what's that girl who had left? I forgot. Nina Lu.
Yeah, for those that left the show.
After those she had left, I stopped watching the show. Like literally.
Yeah.
And once the Rosses had left after the season 3 finale, I thought the show was done and dusted. But I don't understand Disney. They have a 4-season policy.
Yeah, they do have
They shouldn't have cancelled Girl Meets World and Andy Mack. But I remember Rowan Blanchard said the other day the real reason why Girl Meets World cancelled. She said it in an Entertainment Tonight clip.
Oh yeah.
Via virtual, saying the show ended when it had to end. And I understand the point where she comes from.
Oh yeah, I think I might have seen that actually. Yeah.
I agreed with what she had said.
Yeah. Wait, hold on a second. My friend Ryan here is asking about the Girl Meets World controversy. I'll just repeat it. Yeah, we talked about it earlier, but basically, it's like there was a bunch of the Girl Meets World. The topic was trending on Twitter a couple days ago. Basically, a lot of people were criticizing the show, having issue with it. You know, it's a controversy in the sense that like anything on Twitter can be a controversy. But basically, people were criticizing the show, and I felt, and I think Tyrelle agrees with me, that a number of the criticisms were kind of like basically they were calling the show kind of like problematic and offensive in certain ways, which a number of the criticisms I think were kind of like taking things out of context and misrepresenting it. to make it look like they were portraying certain things one way when it was actually not necessarily in that way. And some of the criticisms of the show were valid. I've talked about some of my issues with the show in the past, but others not so much. So that's basically the controversy.
And I'll also have to agree with Ryan there too. It's a good thing he brought up the controversy. In my point of view, I don't know why those haters of Ghoul Meets World said the show was problematic and controversial, but it did have a few controversial topics. And in my personal view, those Ghoul Meets World haters, in my personal point of view, in fact, some of them might be supporters of former disgraced US President Trump, and some of the fans who watch the show actually those of either Obama or Biden. I didn't mean to bring those two handsome, greatest presidents the US ever had. But Obama, as a US president himself, and he was also black as well. He was the first black president.
Yeah,
he served America fantastically. I rate him a 10 out of 10. As for former disgraced President Trump, he did absolutely nothing. I would give him a 0 out of 10. Biden, he's working his way up. Sorry about politics and sorry about bringing politics into TV shows and sports. But I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. No, I'm not a fan of Trump.
Neither me. I agree with you. 10 out of 10, me. 110%.
Yeah. All right. We're talking for a little over an hour now. Maybe we could wrap it up now, unless you have anything else you want to say.
Not really anything else to say, but I really enjoyed the discussion.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too. Thanks for coming on.
Anytime you need me for any discussion, you know where to find me. DM me or tag me. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. All right. So I guess that's all for tonight.
Yep.
And
doing the salute.
Go back.
Saluting you, mate.
All right. Yeah. You want me to salute?
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Thanks everybody for watching, and have a good night. And
a couple of more things I must say to those who are out there, and
yes,
for you guys who are out there, stay home, stay safe, wear face masks, practice social distancing. If we want to get back to normal, let's do the right thing instead of doing negative. Always positive vibes. Look after your family. If you haven't seen someone in a long time, just give them a call and surprise them. That's all the words of wisdom that I have to say.
Okay, yeah, thank you. That's good. Yeah, I agree with all that. Yep.
Thank you, John, for having me.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming. And I guess talk to you later. All right, I'm going to end this now.
Goodbye, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a fantastic night.
Bye.
Get some good rest and stay safe.
Yeah, you too. Thanks, everyone, for coming. Bye. Good end.
Bye.
Bye. Did I hit end? Yes, end.